Hey guys, happy Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. I can't believe it. Um, I hope you're all having a great week. I hope you're taking care of yourselves as usual. Um, Today we're going to talk about finding the theme in short stories. The way that is presented in IXL is a really good way to give you a condensed version, but will also prepare you for larger texts. The texts aren't super long, um, but they give you enough information that you are able to determine the true theme and to determine that you have to be sure that you have evidence and support to back that up. So there is a PDF that I have found that is attached with the assignment. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Um, Theme can be a little confusing because there are so many different elements, literary elements that you're trying to decipher that sometimes they can get confused. The conflict can get confused as theme. The moral can get confused as theme. So I'm going to go over a few things on the handout. The PDF, because I didn't really hand it out. So keep in mind that theme is the central, underlying, and controlling idea or insight of a work of literature. This is the idea that the writer or the author wants to convey about the subject. It's the writer's view of the world or a revelation about human nature. Theme cannot be expressed in a single word. It is not the purpose of a work. It's not the moral or the conflict. There are 5 ways that you can identify theme. And we've talked about how all of these skills that we're learning build on each other. And the PDF goes over that just like I'm going to tell you as well. You have to know the story's plot, the characterization, the conflict, all of those things that we've been talking about. And so you can summarize the plot by writing a 1-sentence description, which will give you the exposition, which we haven't talked about in a while, but that's like the background information, like the setup, giving you the information that you will need to understand the rest of the story. The conflict, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and then the resolution. We've talked about those, but we know the conflict is the problem, or the thing that propels the action of the story. And then the rising action, I'm so sorry about that. I'm on a Mac and it's connected to my phone, and my phone's on silent, but my computer apparently is not. So sorry about that. The conflict is the problem, and then the rising action is how that problem is evolving and how the characters are reacting and what's happening because of that problem or conflict. And then the climax is when everything that's the main action of the story. That's when everything's happening and all the things are coming into play, and that is usually the most interesting part of a piece of work, a piece of literature, a piece of a text, anything you're reading. And then the falling action is after everything has happened, how all of the pieces are moving towards the resolution, which is the final outcome. So you want to identify the subject. What is this about? Okay. And then insight or truth that was learned about the subject by the characters. Remember who the protagonist is. The protagonist is the main character that we follow throughout the story. How did the protagonist change? Or what lesson did they learn? Okay? And then how does the plot present that insight or truth about the subject? And then you can write a general statement about what was learned and how it was learned. So here is when you choose a theme, when you decide what the theme of the work is, these are questions that you can ask to make sure that you're correct. Just like if you're doing an algebra problem, I'm not a math whiz, but when you're working an algebra problem and you're solving for X, Y, Z, A, B, whatever, and you get your answer, you can go back and plug that in for the variable, and you know if you got it correct, because if you didn't, the problem won't work out. The problem won't make sense. It won't give you the correct answer. Okay? So, when you choose a theme, think about these questions. Is the theme supported by evidence from the work itself? That is evidence, support, all the things that we have talked about that prove your point. And then, are all the author's choices of plot, character, conflict, and tone controlled by this theme that you have chosen? And if you ask yourself those questions, it will make it so much easier. Because like I said before, if you have evidence, if you have real evidence from the text, then you're right. And there are some stories and books and novels and all of those things, some of them will have a couple of themes. But you can usually, by asking these questions, you can usually narrow it down to the main theme, the overlapping umbrella theme of the entire work. So ask yourself those questions, and you don't necessarily, if you feel comfortable, this PDF tells you to write these sentences. You don't necessarily have to write down the sentences, but it will help you as you're learning how to decipher the theme to do that. And if you just do that in your head, that's fine. If we were in class, I would probably have you write it down just to get in the habit. So if that helps you, by all means do that. And then you will find the theme. Like I said, the IXL questions and text are not super long. I read a couple of the examples. They seemed pretty interesting, so I like that. I like when it's something interesting. But just find your theme. And like I said, think about all of those skills that we've been working on and that you've been building on. And then you will be set to go. You'll have all the tools in your toolbox that you need. So, good luck with this. This is leading us into even more skills. So, it's very important that you be sure that you have mastered the skills before. If you've worked on one of the skills and you just kind of barely got by, I would definitely encourage you to go back to that and work that problem like it's math. But you know what I mean. Work that skill until you have mastered it. And IXL is really great about building on what you've answered to make the questions relevant to what you're working on and what you're having problems with and things like that. So please do that. I hope that you don't have any trouble, but if you do, as you know, you can email me at reading2gjcc@gmail.com, or you can comment on this video or reach out to me through Classroom. Any of those things will work. Email is probably best because I get that anytime, day or not. So, if you need any assistance or anything, or you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those about this, or if it's something else, I'll do my best or get an answer for you. You guys know that I'll do everything I can for you. I love you guys. Week 3, is it? Yeah, we're mid full week 3. So, I hope that you're staying safe and making good choices. As I always say, I miss you guys more than you can ever know. And I worry about you, and I hope that some of the talks we've had and some of the breakthroughs we've had, and even on days if we didn't get along, but we worked through it, I hope all of those lessons are coming into play, and and you use those in your life. I know that I use my interactions with you guys every single day. You make me better. So I love you, and have a great day. Happy Wednesday, and we're halfway through this week. Have a great day. It's going to take me a second to close this out and stop the video. So, bye guys.